It's time for the Ruffin Wrestling Show. Here's your host, Michael Ruffin.
You soft, you slop.
How's it going, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Ruffin Wrestling Show. I am your host, Michael Ruffin, and today, I hope you're doing well, by the way. I hope you're doing great on this. This is a Saturday evening I'm recording this on, so you guys will probably hear this, unless you're on it instantly, you'll hear this on Sunday, hopefully before Money in the Bank, because tonight we're going to talk about Money in the Bank, which of course is happening this Sunday from Las Vegas, Nevada. And we're going to talk about that. And first off, I've got to give a shout out, and I know they're listening. I just recently moved from my place in Louisiana back home to where I grew up here in Georgia. And if there's one thing that I've been missing from Louisiana, it's community coffee. Now, community has really grown. I'm probably sure I could have gotten this down at Publix or at Walmart here in Georgia. But my friends Nicole and Jason sent me a pound of community medium roast, and it is delicious. It is like mother's milk. So good. They also sent me 2 bags of Zapp's potato chips, which, in the worst timing, not their fault though. This week I started, I'm a big guy. Any of you that know me personally know that I am not skinny. I am a fat guy. I'm like Kevin Owens' size. We're actually about around the same weight. He's taller than I am, but we're around the same weight, about 266, 270, around in that ballpark figure, man. And you know what? I'm trying to make a change. I'm trying to make a change in my life. I'm trying to eat better, move more. What is it? Eat less, move more. Eat less calories than you burn, So I downloaded it, and I'm going to give this app a shout out, an app called MyFitnessPal. Free app. You might have to pay for some of the cooler features on there, but you can tell them your height, your weight, and how much you want to lose, and how fast you want to lose it. Like if you want to lose 1 pound a week, 2 pounds a week, how you want to do it. And they will tell you kind of roughly where you need to stick around on your calorie intake. So I've been really watching what I've been doing. I've cut out bread. I don't eat bread or potatoes or any type of flour, any type of wheat or grain. I don't eat anything like that. I'm really trying to not eat any type of processed sugar or refined sugars. I'm trying to stick to my sugars coming in the natural state from fruit, and things like that, like blueberries, grapes, bananas, oranges, pineapple, and I'm really trying to even watch that. So with this app, it tells me I should only eat about 68 grams of sugar a day, which sounds like a ton, because you think a can of soda has 30. But that's like a can of soda. That's like a 12-ounce, aluminum can of soda has 30-something grams of sugar in it. So that's like half my sugar for the day. So I don't drink any soda at all. I'm still using Splenda in my coffee, but I'm starting to wean it back. I used to put a lot. I like Splenda. I like my coffee sweet. So I would put 4, or sometimes even 5 Splendas in my coffee, which is a ton. So I really tried to start dialing that back. I've cut it back to 3. I'm going to start dialing it back to 2, then to 1, and then to nothing. And then I'm going to try and start getting creamer out of my coffee and start drinking it black. And I'm going to start getting better coffee, like Community. Any of you people out there listening to Louisiana, if you want to send me a pound of Cypress Sunrise, you can get it at CC's Coffee Houses. I would love you forever, and I will give you a shout out on the show, or I'll PayPal you $10, whichever you prefer. But I can't get that one online. It's only a CC's exclusive, so I can't get it online. It sucks, because I miss it. But man, Nicole and Jason hooked me up with some community coffee this week, and it's made my day. It's made my day, and it's making the show. This show brought to you by Community Coffee Medium Roast. Oh, man, it's so good. But hey, we're not here to talk about fitness. We're not here to talk about coffee. We're here to talk about Money in the Bank, which is always a fun pay-per-view. Not a major pay-per-view, but it's one of the B pay-per-views. I grade WWE pay-per-views by significance. So, of course, you have WrestleMania, the granddaddy of them all. That's the A+ show. That's the big one. That's an A show. Then you got like SummerSlam, A show. Survivor Series, A show. Royal Rumble, A show. Then you got stuff like Money in the Bank, B show. Night of Champions, B show. Hell in the Cell, B+. Of course, then you got things like Roadblock, that's a C. Fastlane, C. Those little ones that don't matter. So you've got, those types of things there. So Money in the Bank, I put it as a solid B. It's a good road to SummerSlam, road to the next big show after WrestleMania. And the card for Money in the Bank this year is actually quite exciting. So we're going to run down that card here real quick, starting with the pre-show matches. We have the Lucha Dragons, Kalisto and Sin Cara versus the Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray Dudley, Devon Dudley. I think this show just feels kind of thrown onto the pre-show. Yeah, it's on the pre-show, so I feel like this is going to be a good warm-up for the crowd there in Las Vegas, get them hyped, get them pumped up for the show, because they haven't really done any type of setup with the Lucha Dragons and the Dudley Boys. But I've been watching Raw and SmackDown, and maybe I just missed something, where maybe they had something happen here, but otherwise I just feel like this is kind of thrown together. But I also smell a breakup coming between the Lucha Dragons. Kalisto was really getting pushed as a singles competitor with the United States Championship, while Sin Cara was out hurt. So I feel that this is possibly the beginning of the end for Kalisto and Sin Cara as a tag team, which is sad because I actually like the Lucha Dragons, and I'll be sad to see them break up. But I think they really want Kalisto to go off as a singles, and Sin Cara will, of course, settle into the mid card somewhere. And who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. But I don't know. I see the Dudley Boys going over in this because I think this will be the beginning of the end of the Lucha Dragons and start the road towards their breakup. Also on the pre-show, we have the Golden Truth, Goldust and R-Truth versus Breezango, Tyler Breeze, and Fandango. Which I think I like Breezango better than Febreze. I don't know if they finally got like maybe a cease and desist, or maybe they're just kind of being precautionary and not calling them Febreze, but now they are now called Breezango in a tag team match. I think this will be a fun match. They've been teasing this one for a while. It's kind of been the comedy relief on Raw and SmackDown, but I think this will be a good match. It'll be a fun match. It'll be probably kind of goofy, because both these teams are kind of goofy comedic relief teams. So we'll have to see what happens with that. If I had to make a prediction, probably Breezango, Tyler Breeze, and Fandango. They have more to gain from this match than Goldust and R-Truth do. I mean, this match is over. Dustin will go back down to the Performance Center as a trainer. R-Truth will go back doing what he does, which is here recently. If you follow him on social media, he's been really focusing on his music. So, give him a chance to do some of that, and maybe give Tyler Breeze and Fandango a good win on a pay-per-view, albeit on the pre-show. Well, let's get to the main card here. I'm looking at, of course, as I always do in my pre-shows, I'm looking at the Wikipedia card, and they put it in a weird order, so I kind of have to pick what order I think it'll go in. So I'm going to go, usually from the bottom up is the correct order for the most part, with a few things shifted around. So we'll start with the one they have listed last, which is Apollo Crews and Sheamus. I think this match is going to be a good match. They've been building it up that Sheamus is kind of, angry, and he hates the new era guys. He hates all the new era guys because he's of the old era, and they're coming in and kind of taking his spot, which I kind of liked that storyline. It's kind of old and it's been done before, but it's always a good solid thing. And I think Apollo Crews and Sheamus will put out a pretty good match. Anytime I get to see Apollo Crews in the ring is exciting for me. Sheamus does tend to work kind of stiff, so hopefully Apollo Crews comes out of this without any bumps and bruises, or at worst, maybe doesn't come out with an injury. So, but I think this will be a good match. Apollo Crews, I think, will pick up the win here, or possibly not. They may push this some more, and maybe even push it even further into SummerSlam. So they may have Sheamus go over in this one. That could go either way. Really, for me, I'm just expecting a good match despite who the winner is in this one. I really don't have any skin in that game. So I would like to see Apollo Crews go over because I really like Apollo Crews. I've liked him since he was Uhaa Nation on the Indies. So we'll have to see kind of what happens with this one. But my prediction is that really Sheamus will go over and we'll push this one further into SummerSlam. Next up we have Dolph Ziggler and Baron Corbin. I think, what is this, their fourth or fifth match? This one I'm kind of hoping, I hope this is it. I hope this is the end. Smart Money says Dolph Ziggler wins, but I'm going to go with the upset here. I think Baron Corbin gets the win and help kind of push him into the main roster spotlight that they obviously were going to give him with him picking up the win in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania. So I think we will see Baron Corbin go over in this one, and it kind of, because really he's got more to gain here. Dolph can take a loss and not really do any damage to himself. Baron Corbin, I think if he takes another loss, it's just going to kind of bury him under. So that's the plan, is to bury him down and maybe even send him back down to NXT. Who knows? I don't think he's done anything to merit that. I actually have liked Baron Corbin a lot on the main roster, so I'll have to see what they do there. Like I said, I'm going to go with the upset here, in that Baron Corbin picks up the victory and kind of pushes himself further into his singles career. Next up, they have Rusev with Lana versus Titus O'Neil for the United States Championship. I like the way they've been building this with Titus O'Neil kind of always, one step behind Rusev. When Rusev, does this thing where he slaps somebody in the accolade and then continues to either continue the hold after the match is over, or even kind of beating him down after the match is over, and Titus always comes out for the save. Titus is always kind of watching what Rusev does. I could see Titus O'Neil winning here. I think this is possibly if you remember a few months back, Titus O'Neil was suspended for 60 days for grabbing Vince McMahon's arm at Daniel Bryan's retirement speech on Raw. And I always felt that was kind of, and it was kind of exaggerated. That was kind of a blown out of proportion thing, because he didn't mean it in any type of violent way. He was mostly just trying to get Vince to allow Stephanie to get in front of him, and Vince just kind of overreacted, and I felt that the whole suspension was an overreaction. So I think that this push towards even a minor belt like the United States Championship is kind of hey, thanks for just kind of playing along with that 60-day suspension. You did a lot of good stuff for charity during that time. I follow Titus on Instagram, and he is always doing stuff for charity. Even when it's not WWE related, he is always doing stuff for like Boys and Girls Club. He's always doing stuff for charities. So I think he's a great guy. And I think this is possibly hey, thanks for carrying the charity work even during your suspension. Kind of let's push this under the rug, and look, we're going to give you maybe a chase at a minor belt and possibly even a run. I like Titus O'Neil. I like him better when he's with Darren Young and we have the primetime players, but I like Titus O'Neil. I like Darren Young too, but I like Titus O'Neil. So do I think he wins it here? Probably not. I think Rusev will possibly even get a DQ. I think this will be our DQ match of the night. Rusev will do something or Lana will do something to keep Rusev with the belt as a DQ, and we push this one towards SummerSlam, and we possibly get we maybe get a rematch of this at Battleground, because everybody forgets, and I forget, we do have a pay-per-view between Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. We have Battleground, so we will have to see. Plus, you also remember with SummerSlam, the brand quote-unquote expansion will happen before SummerSlam. And I think it actually happens before Battleground too. I don't really want to look it up right now, but and I could be wrong here. It's a 50-50 coin toss if I'm right or not. I think that Battleground happens after the brand expansion, brand split, whatever you want to call it, has happened. So I think I think that this one will be our DQ match, and who knows, Titus and Rusev may go to separate rosters, and we may never see this match again. So who knows what's going to happen, and who knows what's going to happen with the U.S. Championship. If it's going to stay on Raw, if it's going to go to SmackDown, if it's going to jump between the two shows. We have no idea. They haven't really laid that plan out, and I don't think we're going to see anything until the brand split happens. So if I have to say anything, this ends in DQ, Rusev retains, and hopefully this pushes it towards another pay-per-view and possibly a Titus O'Neil United States Championship run. Next up, we have the New Day, of course, with Big E, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, versus The Club. God, I hate that name. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson versus Enzo Amore and Big Cass versus the Vaudevillains in a fatal four-way match for the WWE Tag Team Championships. I expect this to be a fantastic match, one of the better matches on the entire card. I expect this to be a spot fest. I expect this to be just an insane match. And quite frankly, sadly, I think New Day's title run ends. Who gets them? Probably The Club. Enzo and Cass deserve to be champions. They have earned a spot at being the champions. However, it's always more entertaining to watch Enzo and Cass chase the championship. And I don't know what a title with Enzo and Cass would look like. Now, I think that it would be fine, but I would honestly rather see them chase the championship than be the champions. So I think The Club picks up the titles here. Like I said, God, I hate that name. I absolutely despise that name. I could rant on that for another 10 minutes, and I hate that name. And I think it's just a placeholder until possibly Finn Balor moves up, something happens, and we get a more definite, set in stone what we're going to do with The Club and what we're going to call them. So, but yeah, like I said, I think The Club picks up the championships here. New Day, they've had them for a long time. I love the New Day. Whether they're champions or not, the New Day are going to be entertaining. They're just as entertaining as Enzo and Cass. Maybe what happens here is that The Club picks up the championships, and then we push on with Enzo and Cass and the New Day having a feud, because we almost got to see it on this past Monday, the Xavier Woods versus Cass versus Enzo Amore. Smack talking. The Smack talk off. Which was great, and I expect more from that, and I'm looking forward to more from that. So we'll have to see what happens there. Next up, we have our the women's match. Excuse me, I'm still adjusting to that change. We have the women's match: Charlotte with Dana Brooke versus Natalya and Becky Lynch. It's a tag team match. I think Dana will cost Charlotte the match. And Natalya and Becky Lynch will pick up the victory. That's really all I need to say about that one. This match really doesn't have anything on the line. It's a placeholder till we get to SummerSlam, and we decide on who's going to take on Charlotte for her championship. Everybody says it's Sasha Banks. I think Sasha Banks would be great. I'm going to go with the more surprising upset and say that it's a debuting Bayley. I think Bayley will show up at SummerSlam. I also think Finn Balor will be up by SummerSlam. I think we'll get both of them in the brand expansion, and I think we'll see Bayley versus Charlotte at SummerSlam, and Bayley possibly taking the Women's Championship from Charlotte there. That's my guess. I think it's just because I like Bayley more than I like Sasha Banks. But if it's Sasha Banks, I'm happy with that too. More than anything, I just want Charlotte to not be the women's champion anymore. As much as I like her being the champion, I just want to see it on somebody new. It's over. I'm kind of done with seeing Charlotte. She's had it since September. I'm kind of tired of seeing her having it. So we'll have to see what happens. But I fully expect it to either be Bayley or Sasha Banks. Probably more smart money says Sasha Banks, but it could always be Bayley. I'm going to hold out hope for the hugger. Next up, we have the Money in the Bank ladder match. This time, this is the first, I think, Money in the Bank in a while that we've only had one Money in the Bank ladder match. We have Kevin Owens versus Cesaro, Alberto Del Rio, Sami Zayn, Dean Ambrose versus Chris Jericho in a Money in the Bank ladder match. I expect this to be a great match. I expect it to be a spot fest, just like the Intercontinental Championship match at WrestleMania was. I expect this to be probably match of the night. I think this is going to be a great match. Prediction-wise, I'll say it's probably either going to be Kevin Owens or Cesaro or Dean Ambrose. I think those three are probably the most likely. I've not looked at betting odds for this event, so I don't know who's possibly in the lead. If you checked betting odds for WrestleMania, you would have known that Zack Ryder was going to win. So I guess checking betting odds will always kind of tell you kind of where things are going up until the last minute when the smart money comes in and everything changes, like at WrestleMania 30, when the betting odds said The Undertaker was the heavy favorite until about 20 minutes before the event happened, and then it shifted severely to Brock Lesnar. So betting odds will always kind of tell you where things are going to go in the night. I haven't checked them for this event yet, but if I had to say it, on my personal opinion, I really would like to see Kevin Owens win the briefcase because I think he'll be really great with it. He will probably do a lot of trolling, a lot of close calls where he'll come out during a match and throw off people thinking he's going to cash in, but he doesn't. I expect Kevin Owens to probably win this one, but I could see it going to either Cesaro or Dean Ambrose as well. We also have, coming up, we have John Cena versus AJ Styles, the match 15 years in the making. I think this is going to be a great match. Cena is kind of the new age Hulk Hogan in that he always tends to kind of win when the big match is on the line. And I don't know if that's because Vince just loves Cena so much that he always wants to see Cena win, or if Cena kind of has, like I said, the Hulk Hogan creative clause in that he can kind of decide where he wants the match to go, and he can get away with making those decisions, and no one's going to say anything to him. Do I think John Cena would let AJ win on this one? I think so. I think he would. AJ's got more to win here. And it's not a question of new era versus old era between John Cena and AJ Styles. Yeah, AJ's new. He is kind of, I guess, quote-unquote, part of the new era. But he's an older guy. He's the same age as Cena. They're old legends who just finally crossed paths. You know, that's why I said it's the match 15 years in the making. It's like AJ told him. He's like, if I'd have come in at the same time you had, you wouldn't be a 15-time champion because, you know, I would be here. So I would like to see AJ put his money where his mouth is. Of course, they did on Raw. They did, where John Cena gave him the option to have either a one-on-one match with him, or he could have a handicap match and the club could be involved. And AJ accepted the one-on-one match, so I don't think the club gets involved here. I think AJ wins this one clean on his own. At least that's what I hope for. More than likely, Cena will win here, but I would like to see it go to AJ Styles. Finally, we have our main event, Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Roman defending the title against the champion who never lost his title. I think this will be a great match. I think this will be probably the second best match of the night. Well, maybe third behind Cena and AJ Styles. But I expect this to be a pretty great match. Seth is always great at pulling a great match, and he's great at carrying a great match. Not that Roman still needs to be carried, but he does need help in matches. I don't see Roman being able to kind of ring general a good 4 or even 5-star match. The ones he had with AJ were definitely done mostly by AJ. AJ was able to bring Roman Reigns up to a level that Roman needed to be at. And I think Seth Rollins will do the same thing. I think Seth will bring Roman up a peg and kind of and will kind of make him perform at the level that he needs to be at for a main event match. I think Roman will retain, but he's gonna fight for it. He's gonna have to put up a fight, and Seth's gonna make Roman look good. He is. He's gonna make him look good. He's gonna make him look strong, and but Roman's gonna retain here. But this is not the end of Seth Rollins going after the title. And who knows? Kevin Owens wins the briefcase. Kevin Owens could very well cash in at the end of the night. We haven't seen that done since Kane, I think, was the last one to do it a few years back, where he cashed in 50 minutes after he won the briefcase, and he won with it. So that could also happen. Seth and Roman could have a knockdown, drag-out slobber knocker, as JR would call it. And then Kevin Owens comes down and cashes and walks out the heavyweight champion. Who knows? Who knows? It's Money in the Bank. It's in Vegas, baby. Who knows what's going to happen? But that is your Money in the Bank pre-show. Well, of course, I'll be back tomorrow night or Monday morning, possibly, with a Money in the Bank recap. We'll talk about how everything went down. But until then, see you guys later, and peace.